What's up, YouTube? It's Matt. First and foremost, guys, I just want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. I can't speak for everyone, but I think I probably speak for most of us when I say 2020 cannot come to an end soon enough. What a hellish nightmare of a year. But we're moving into 2021, and barring an alien invasion, I think 2021 is set to be a little bit better than the year before. Let's hope anyway. Anyway, guys, so today what I'm here to do is bring you a little bit more insight into this guitar. It's the Agile Geodesic Pro. I did a short demo of it a couple months back when I first received it, and quite honestly, so many of you guys reached out, it really amazed me and said, Matt, you might be one of the only folks on YouTube or in America even that has access to one of these. What can you tell me about it? Can you tell us more about it? So that's what I'm here to do today. I'm going to run through a little bit more of the sound settings. You'll get a chance to hear how it sounds clean and how it sounds overdriven without a backing track, just real basic demo to give you an idea of how it sounds. But more importantly, what I really want to do is bring you through all the specs of this guitar, and also why I think it is one of the best gear purchases that I've made in many years. Before I get started with all of that though, another thing that many of you guys have asked me is, does Rondo Music, the supplier of these Agile and SX guitars, do they offer me any sort of payment, any sort of bribe to demo their videos and review them positively? And the answer to that is absolutely not. For years I've been reviewing Agile and SX guitars because I absolutely love them. In 20 years of playing now, I have not found a guitar company, both SX and Agile, that create such awesome and amazing playing instruments for the price that they sell them for. And that's why over the course of the last year, Agile and SX are the only guitars that I've purchased. If you have a modicum of setup knowledge, you can make these things play amazing with very little effort at all. And as a matter of fact, this thing came in perfectly set up, ready to go right out of the box, and it's an absolutely fabulous guitar. So first off, I'm going to take you through some clean sounds from these Fishman Fluence Modern pickups. Being known as high gain pickups, these things, you might not expect them to sound great clean, but they really do an amazing versatile job of all genres of music. So let's check that out first. All right, guys, so first off, I'm just going to take you through the specs of the guitar and what you can expect when you pick up one of these for yourself. First and foremost, I love what Rondo calls the Blue Purple Burst, which is what you're seeing here on this particular guitar's finish. It has a burl top. Rondo doesn't say what kind of burl. To me, it looks maybe like walnut or potentially buckeye, probably more likely walnut though. But either way, it's a veneer. It's no thicker than, I don't know, maybe a piece of cardboard at most. So just a veneer. It's not going to have any bearing or merit on the tone of the guitar at all. Just a veneer. The guitar itself is a very, very lightweight mahogany. I'm sure it's some sort of Asian mahogany, but it is lightweight and it's nicely figured, as you'll see on the back. And then the neck is maple along with a ebony fingerboard. So this guitar has stainless steel frets, Fishman Fluence Modern pickups, a roasted maple neck, and an ebony fretboard, as I just mentioned. These are all upgrades over the standard model Geodesic that Rondo sells, and for $200 more, you get all of that. The Fishman Fluence Modern pickups, if you were to buy them aftermarket, are about $200 to $250 by themselves, and that's not counting the install, which will require you to replace all of the pots, the switch, everything. So the $200 extra for the Pro model is worth it off the bat. Go for that if you have the money to do so. The bridge is pretty interesting, but pretty standard for a headless guitar. It feels like it's made out of maybe aluminum. It's a strong but lightweight kind of feel it has going on. Set screws to adjust your intonation. You can move the saddles forward and backward if you loosen the set screws. You can also raise them up and down to affect your string action. And what's really nice is the tuners, which are located on the bridge, have Teflon washers on them. So it's easy to tighten and loosen the strings, unlike some headless guitar models that have in the past been very, very hard to tune to pitch because the tuners get tight. And I've experienced that issue a little bit on this Agile, but I'll go into that in just a moment. Agile did an awesome job with the stainless steel frets on this guitar. You know, stainless steel is amazing. It wears so slowly, if at all, while you play, but what would have totally ruined this guitar is if you paid for the awesome stainless steel fret upgrade, but then they didn't do a good job of crowning or leveling the frets and you had buzz everywhere. That would suck. That would be miserable. Well, they did a great job with it. The frets themselves are nicely leveled, haven't had any issues with fretting out anywhere on the neck. They have a nice crown on them too. I've noticed lately that a lot of lower end guitar manufacturers are taking the time to level the frets so that you're not getting a lot of buzz when the guitar first comes in the mail or you buy it at the store. But the problem with that is if they don't put a good crown on it, then notes are going to play a little bit sharp or a little bit flat if the frets themselves are flat on top. So Agile did a great job with this. There's a nice subtle crown on them. They're all leveled perfectly, and the ebony fretboard is a joy to play on. The nut itself is pretty self-explanatory. It has a Graphtec nut. It doesn't have a 0 fret like you see on a lot of headless guitars, but that's okay. It plays great. And then the string clamps at the top of the headstock are basically just that. They are just Allen screw clamps that hold the strings into place. Now, one thing I have had to do with this guitar, and one of the only cons that I've found thus far, is when I first got it a couple months ago, I restrung it. After maybe 2 months, the D string had worked itself a little bit loose up at the headstock, and the tuner at the bridge was out of room to tune. It was completely tightened, and I could not get the D string in tune. At first I was concerned, but then I realized, simple fix. All I had to do was loosen the Allen screw, pull the D string tight, retighten it down, and when I did that, I had plenty of room left on the bridge tuner to get it back up to pitch. All was well. So I guess if there's any caveat to this, from time to time you may need to check the tightness of the headstock clamps to make sure the strings are good and tight. Otherwise, you may run out of room on your bridge tuners. As you can see, the back of the guitar is a really, really nice piece of mahogany, very light, easy to heft. The thing only weighs about 5 pounds, which is an absolute back saver, especially if you're doing long gigs. The neck is a nice roasted maple. The neck profile goes from about 3/4 of an inch at the first fret to about 7/8 of an inch at the 12th fret. So it's a thin neck. Usually I don't get along with thin necks, but The cool thing about this guitar is the nut width is only 1 5/8 inches, so it doesn't feel like a big, wide slab 2x4 of a neck. It's very thin, but it's also easy to wrap your thumb around if that's how you like to play when you're barring chords. In general, I really get along with it. I didn't expect to like it as much as I do, and it's working out great. At the neck joint, there's also a really nice and subtle cutaway. I'd say it's a comfort carve for when you're playing up near, the 21st to the 24th frets. The access is very easy to get to and super duper comfortable. On top of that, these are active pickups, so you will have to use a 9-volt battery. As soon as I got the guitar, I took the off-brand, I don't even know what the name of it was, out and put a Duracell in. I've been playing on it for 3 months, pretty much an hour or two every day, and I've had absolutely no problem. The battery is hanging in just fine. And if it's a concern for you, you can always buy one of those Fishman rechargeable packs. They supposedly last forever. But me personally, I'm not cool with plugging a guitar into a USB port and having to charge it up. I don't want to rely on anything like that. I'd much rather just be able to toss a 9-volt in and go like that. And finally, the output jack on the guitar is recessed on the lower bout of the guitar, which is really great. You'll definitely want to use an angled plug. I didn't follow my own advice with this video because I needed a long cable. And the only one I have is straight, but usually I use an angled cable. And the great part about this is you can stomp on your cable at a gig and there is no way it's going to come out of the jack. But one thing you definitely want to remember is to unplug it when you're not playing it, because if you leave it plugged in, it's going to drain your battery the entire time. Alright, so all the specs being out of the way, take a second to check out some overdrive noodling I did just to give you an idea of how these pickups sound with some more higher gain applications. So what are my final thoughts on the Agile Geodesic Pro? It's an amazing guitar, especially for those of you who really want something lightweight, you know, something ergonomic, and you don't want to spend the money that you might have to spend to get, you know, say a Strandberg or a Kiesel or, you know, something you know that's modern and fresh and, like I said, ergonomic and very lightweight. This thing only weighs a little over 5 pounds. So for those of you with back problems, me included, this thing is a lifesaver. It's an absolute lifesaver. I will suggest one thing. Rondo stocks two styles of this guitar. They stock the standard model and the pro model. The pro model is $200 more. But for $200, you will get stainless steel frets, which, as far as I'm concerned, that justifies the increase in price alone. A roasted maple neck, Fishman Fluence Modern pickups, which are $250 by themselves as an individual upgrade. So realistically, and an ebony fretboard. So all of that for $200 extra. So as tempted as you might be to spend, you know, a lesser amount of money to get one of the standard models, if you can, save up a little extra dough, because the added specs that you'll get with this pro model guitar are absolutely worth the increase in price. Made in South Korea, quality instrument, you just can't beat it. I'm pretty much in love with the thing. So that's all I've got for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful if you are considering picking up an Agile Geodesic Pro or really any guitar in the Agile line. It's very, very hard to go wrong with an Agile. So thanks again, guys, and please subscribe if you find this video useful. Happy New Year.